If you're ready for sports, it's time for now a special edition of the NBA season overview. It's a special production from the Kurt Sports Network, the Kurt Sports Show. Kurt London right now about to give it to you.
Hello everybody, and welcome to another special edition of the Kurt Sports Show. Right here, I'm Kurt London. This is a special edition, an NBA edition, talking about the end of the season, the overall part of the season, and we're getting down to the NBA playoffs. Let me talk about my two guys, my guests right here. First, let me give you the analyst, the first one. My man on the side to my left, Mr. David Hill.
How you doing? David Hill, also known as D-Hill, one half of K&D Fitness. Alright.
And my other guest right here, a good friend too, guy who knows a lot about basketball as well. My man, Mr. Eddie C.
What's going on, world?
Alright now, so we're going to get into this little topic of these two guys right here and talk about the NBA. Let's get with the standings first, as we talk about the West first. As you look at the standings, from 1 through 8, San Antonio, number 1. And then Oklahoma City, number 2, as they're a game and a half behind. The Lakers and Clippers are 3 and 4. Those two are actually a half a game away from each other. One of them could win the Pacific Division. Memphis Grizzlies are number 5. Number 6 is the Denver Nuggets. Dallas Mavericks is number 7. And the 8th spot. The 8th spot is crazy, with Utah right there, but Phoenix is right behind them, a game behind. And then Houston also behind Utah, a game and a half behind. Now let's go to the East now. The East was Chicago, number 1. Miami is 2 games back as number 2. Indiana, of course, number 3. Boston, 4th seed, and as they won the Atlantic Division. The 5th seed is the Atlanta Hawks. The 6th seed, the Orlando Magic. 7th seed, the New York Knicks. And then the 8th seed, the Philadelphia 76ers. And behind them is the Milwaukee Bucks, still trying to chase them with their 3 games back behind Philadelphia. But that could all change tonight. Let me get your take on it with the West. The West now is crazy right now, guys, and I'm going to tell you how it is. Utah has the 8th seed, right? But the funny thing is with the scenario with Utah, Phoenix, and Houston trying to catch that 8th spot. Now, Utah, all they have to do when they play tomorrow night, they play Phoenix. All they have to do is win this game. They have to win either this game or win on Wednesday night's game. They just need to win one game and they got the 8th seed locked up. Phoenix, on the other hand, have to win both games, have to beat Utah tomorrow night, and then also have to win their game against San Antonio on Wednesday.
Not likely.
That's going to be a tough one.
What, isn't it?
Well, the thing about San Antonio, I don't think they bring it every game. They may have the high record, but if this is going to come to the last game, you know the coach is going to sit out the good players and have them rest.
Exactly.
And when those 3 players rest, Duncan, Parker, they can't. The rest of the team can't handle themselves.
Well, I mean, I would say this about the Spurs. You know, they've always been the sleeper as far as like the Western Conference. You know, they sneak up on you the last couple of games, and then lo and behold, if you're not careful, they might take it over. The Suns are in a tough spot. I mean, yeah, they might be able to get that first win, but going against the Spurs, it's going to be a big challenge for them.
And I mean, I feel that too, because, like you said, Spurs, they be putting a lot of their starters out the game. Maybe the Suns could eventually win if they beat Utah. They can still lock it up. But Utah has to lose both games in order for Phoenix to get advanced. And Houston is even worse. Houston needs to win their game. Their game is not until Thursday night. But they have to get help from Phoenix. Phoenix first have to beat Utah. Then lose to San Antonio. And then, this is even funnier, Utah have to lose all those games for either Houston to even survive.
Houston, they're definitely going to get that one win because they're playing New Orleans. But the thing about Phoenix, back to Phoenix, they're a sloppy team. A sloppy team.
And they are.
You have a whole bunch of guards that they could handle the ball, but the receivers can't.
Right.
The big man can't.
Yeah.
Right.
The shooters can't. So Steve Nash, I know he's looking to get out, but either way, any of those teams get the 8th spot. They're playing San Antonio for best out of 7 games.
It's not going to be a good one.
It doesn't even matter, to be honest.
I really can't see it happening. I mean, if it does, it's unbelievable, but I can't see it happening.
Yeah. amazing how the Spurs managed to, like I said, like they're sleepers. They snuck up to that first spot. Everyone was talking about OKC as the favorite.
Listen, I say too. I mean, this is crazy. The West is just ridiculous. All right, let's talk about the Lakers and Clippers. This is another thing before we get into the East.
Wow,
Who will win the division? Clippers only a half game back. Who will win the division over the Lakers right now?
Battle of LA.
I guess it boils down to what Kobe's going to allow. He still carries that team. He's the leader. Sessions, he's really good. He's really good. And
nobody heard about Sessions until he came into the Lakers. That's the truth.
That is
so the truth.
I mean, I remember him on Milwaukee.
But I'm saying, he's been in the league for 7 years, but nobody's heard of him until he came to the Lakers. Ask anybody. Go play ball in the park. They'll ask you. I didn't hear about Sessions until he came to the Lakers.
I remember him. Like, he was doing okay with Cleveland.
Yeah,
and then
you follow sports, but like random Joe.
Right.
Random Joe.
Right. Random Joe.
I don't know who Sessions is.
Right.
Just came out of nowhere.
I mean, they were the dream pick was Chris Paul, but that didn't go down
And
earlier in the season.
Right, it didn't go down. Look, he's at the Clippers, and hopefully they can get it. All right. Now let's get to the East. All right. Now this is even better. All right. Let's talk about Philadelphia. All they needed to get that one win, and they've got the 8th seed, and it's all locked up and it's finished.
Right.
Milwaukee's no way they're gonna catch Philly. I don't see them catching Philadelphia.
They're 3 games behind.
Exactly.
They can't catch up.
It's pretty much sold up for them.
It's sold up for the 8th spot for Philly. And Philly's a young, tough team. It's a young, tough team.
Now, let's also talk about the Bulls of Miami. They're still trying to fight, get that #1 spot, but I think the Bulls is probably going to keep it up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, Miami has Boston tomorrow night to play them on TNT. But what do you think?
I mean, the way that Boston's been playing lately, they look like a shadow of the team that they used to be about 3 years ago. I mean, in certain regards. I mean, Pierce is still putting up numbers. He's still giving those moments, those clutch moments, especially against the Knicks. But who's to say? It would be a very interesting game.
In the East, let's talk about the Orlando Magic. The way the Orlando Magic have just fall and the cookie under went down to the crumble. It's just ridiculous. No, I'm serious, because now Dwight Howard's done for the rest of the season. They're gonna make the playoffs because they're getting lucky.
It wasn't their season, man. It wasn't their. I mean,
there was a lot of drama, no chemistry.
None whatsoever.
Yeah. I'd say, like, as far as the season, like, the Orlando Magic as a team had the worst season. Like, there's a lot of, like, soap opera moments going on, especially between, like, the whole Dwight Howard and Van Gundy back and forth, and then it comes out into the open. And, at the same time, the trade talk. So it was a lot of back and forth. And I guess as far as, the drama, it's hard for any team to, stay focused. So good luck to them.
I think the drama was really bad because, I thought melodrama was even worse last year. But this year, Dwight talking about going, staying. Now, he still doesn't know.
When there's a lot of distractions, you can't be focused.
Exactly.
Right.
When you're not focused, that causes just, not just you, it comes down on your team.
The whole team. I mean, there have been instances where, the huddle, your key players weren't even joining the huddle. So, I mean, does Van Gundy even have their ear? And I really don't see them going past the second to the second round. It's crazy. I'm not really certain that they're gonna make it.
I mean, listen, if they go into the first round, they would play the Indiana Pacers. I mean, listen, and Indiana's a talented team now.
Very talented.
They're a really talented team. I mean, people are saying that Atlanta could squeak by and get past them at least.
Indiana's 26-4 over teams over 500.
And that's a big thing, right, Dave?
Another big thing. So yeah, Indiana definitely. I think Indiana has that because without that backbone, Dwight Howard getting rebounds, offensive rebounds, and crashing boards, second chance shots. That's Orlando's backbone. So
It's gonna be very tough.
It's gonna be a tough one.
I mean, as far as the Pacers go, they're definitely going up against the Pistons and then Chicago after that, like we mentioned earlier. So, they have a hard road up ahead as well. Facing off against one of the #1 teams in the East. So.
The Knicks, if they did want to catch 6th place.
They no longer can.
Well, they're only 2 games back. They still have to get Orlando to lose the last 2. Knicks would have to win the first 2. The last 2, sorry.
Right.
In order to catch it, because they have a tiebreaker if they can catch them.
Right.
Which could be impossible because Orlando does play Charlotte as we do as well.
Okay, and they're in, like, the Bobcats, I don't think we mentioned that yet, that they're on like a 20-game losing streak. One of the only teams in the league right now that have something. So, I mean, they're just giving away wins right now.
No, you're right,
It's
though.
no-brainer.
You're right. Okay, so we cut that scenario out. But, hey, if the Knicks will get the 6, that would be good.
That would be
The New York Knicks, of course, you know.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people know that I'm a big Knicks fan. You know, I shouldn't be because I'm an announcer and I do all NBA. But, you know, I like the Knicks, you know.
Yeah.
But let's really talk about the Knicks. Eddie, you go first on this one.
Oh man, what's not to talk about? You know, from the very first day of the actual season, Christmas Day. You know, they went up against Boston. They had a couple hard weeks after that, and then out of nowhere, you know, the groin injury from Carmelo, the passing of Stoudemire's brother, and then Jeremy Lin pops up out of nowhere. So
Unbelievable.
that was one of the biggest moments in sports history. You know, Time Magazine, everywhere you look, insanity everywhere. The Knicks had a crazy year. I would say I can't really compare this year to any other. Like, there's no period in the 90s I can even like try to compare it to. This was a good year for the Knicks as far as Knicks fans too. Everyone felt, you know, even people who weren't really, you know, I heard a couple of Bulls fans saying that they were rooting for the Knicks unless they were playing the Bulls. Right.
Dave, you tell me your take on the Knicks.
I don't know if you guys realize, but there's more Knicks fans in other stadiums than other fans that you see at basketball games.
The Nets game,
That's
last Nets
one
game was
thing.
crazy.
Oh, New York. There's more New York fans in New Jersey than New Jersey. That's like going to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Another thing with the Knicks, in the beginning was shaky. There was a lot of injuries.
Oh yeah.
Stat, Melo, Lin. And in the beginning, Melo wasn't playing his normal game. You know, coming from Denver and the year before, all distractions. In the beginning, he was averaging about 14 points a game, or less than that. Yeah. But now he's playing his game, averaging 30 or more,
right?
Which he is going to be Player of the Month.
We're starting on the floor too.
We're starting on the back. Knicks. Well, I have to say, Knicks is a deadly team, and everybody knows that. Yeah. The pressure's up, the defense up, the tempo, the chemistry, the deep bench. Yeah. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, I feel like the Knicks, of course, you know, like you said, a rocky road season, up and down. Like you said, Melo and Stat weren't getting the cohesion that they should have got. Yeah. And then Lin came along, and then Jeremy Lin really just shocked the world. Not just in NBA, but like you said, Eddie, in sports. Yeah. Like this was a really ridiculous story that was going on at the time in sports and in that part of February. Yeah. And then, you know, after that, started slowing down. Then Mike D'Antoni, he got fired, right? Yeah. And then Mike Woodson took over from the assistant to the interim coach. And the way Mike Woodson has put down this team, they're 17-6 now. They're playing some great basketball, I feel. Yeah. I feel like these guys, with the bench they have with J.R. Smith coming in also, and Novak shining out of nowhere, I feel like these guys are going to be the deadliest team in the playoffs. I feel like they're going to be the dangerous team in the playoffs, whoever they play. Miami or Chicago, that's another thing. Who do you think they'll play, and who do you think will be better fit for them, Dave? Miami or Chicago?
To be honest, I was hoping it was going to get the 6th spot, so we have to play neither.
Right.
But
yes, I was with you on that.
Personally, I love a challenge. So I want them to go against Miami. Yeah. Which is looking like right now, but I want them to go against Miami.
What do you think that, Eddie?
Well, that's a tough one for me because, you know, both teams are challenges. I mean, we did happen to get a win against Chicago with Miami. It's kind of tough to say. We never really got a win on them this whole season.
Right.
You know, Chicago does have the crazier bench from what I've seen. The thing is, though, will Derrick Rose be healthy enough to even be there throughout the entire first round? You know, like Stoudemire said, you know, if it was down to the weather, he prefers the Miami weather, so You might want to go down there first. But I would say, in my honest opinion, I would rather than face off against the Bulls.
Well,
First
you have the Heat and you have the Bulls. Now I'm gonna give you both questions on that because this is perfect. I was talking to some people about this. All right.
The thing with the
They
Knicks
really want
and the
that
Heat,
championship.
it would be a good 10 players against a good 7 players.
I was
Okay.
just gonna get to that.
Okay.
I was just.
Heat doesn't have anybody on the bench.
no bench.
And plus, D Wade just dislocated his finger, so
Right.
who knows how long he's going to be out.
And
That's
like
true.
you said, the bench I thought was key when I talked to people about the Heat. If they play the Heat, Knicks have a way better bench. Than
That's
the
why I
Heat.
prefer Heat
Who?
over both.
Who does the Heat have on the bench besides Mike Miller?
That's a good one. Yeah.
That's what I keep thinking about. Who?
Cole?
He don't even get in the game no more.
He used to play good.
Yeah, we don't even get in the game no more now.
Have they even played Curry yet?
Eddie Curry, he gets no bird. I'll tell you that. You watching me, you get no bird. But nah, seriously though, I like that because, like you said, no bench. Bulls now.
Right.
Now this
Come
is
on,
tough because we had some talks with people. I did. I know he has too, and I know you have.
Right.
Bulls got a bench though. Bulls and their defense, they're the #1 ranked defense in the league.
And rebound.
Rebounding is killer. Bulls have Corver, the guy John Lucas, C.J. Watson, and Taj Gibson who comes off the bench and helps them out.
2 point guards.
They
coming off the bench.
I'll be scared of, I can't be really good. I'd rather have the Heat than the Bulls like Keith said.
100% right. Their bench is ridiculous. But I mean, as far as like the teams, like the Knicks as a team, as their confidence, I think they'd be more confident playing the Bulls for some reason.
Well, we'll see what happens.
I mean,
all right? As I said, we'll
If
see.
Novak can hit those clutch threes, if J.R. Smith can come out with that same intensity, depending on, because they don't have Jeremy Lin for that first round.
Right.
So, we're probably going to be starting with, Bibby until, Baron Davis gets healthy, I suppose. So.
Like I said, we will see what happens, whoever they get. Now, let's talk real quick with MVP candidates of the year, all right?
Okay.
These two guys have really been talked about, Kevin Durant, LeBron James. Give me your pick. Hold on. First of all, let me give you the stat lines on these two guys. Kevin Durant, 27.9 points per game, 8 rebounds a game, 3 assists a game. LeBron James, 27.2 points per game, 7.9 rebounds a game, and 6 assists per game. You give me your pick. Who will win it?
Both teams have the same exact record. Both players are very. I'm going for KD. KD is like my favorite player right now. I choose KD because LeBron, he shows that he wants to win the game, but when it comes to the final quarter,
You never get it.
he wants it out of his hands.
Yeah.
You can tell KD he's hungry, but
Yeah.
he wants the ball.
Like, I mean, even in the beginning of the season, I remember a couple of games, like, there was a Dallas game where, Jason Terry, once again, comes out with these threes at the last couple seconds. And they had, like, a few more seconds in the game, and they threw it out to KD, who, of course, always, clutch threes. Always hits that clutch three.
Is that your pick as well?
I would have to go with KD. At the end of the day, it's all about, it's not just starting the game, it's also finishing it. And as far as a finisher, I would say Kevin Durant. I'd be more, if it was my team, I'd be more confident with, with Durant having the ball in his hands.
Like you said, Kevin Durant, this year with Oklahoma City, they could have been first place, but they're second place. But they're right there, the top of the elite teams now.
Oh, yeah.
From when he first started, from his first year, and then when he moved to Oklahoma City, bringing that team from up and up and up and climbing the record, I felt like he should deserve it this year. LeBron James, yeah, he's putting up numbers this year. He's doing his thing this year. I can't deny him. I can't. But at the same time, he had MVP before.
Right.
I feel like you got to go to Kevin Durant. Give it to somebody who really should get one and deserve it, and I feel like it's Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant.
I agree with that. KD.
All right.
MVP KD. Let's do it.
All right now. Another thing. player of the month for this month now. Like you said, you talked about with Carmelo Anthony, of course. I feel like this month has been his month, and he has just been going ridiculous scoring. He's been a scoring machine right now. Dave, what do you got to say more on to that?
Melo scored over 30 points per game this month. What more can I say? He messed around and got a triple-double the other night, so.
His second career triple-double.
Unbelievable.
Crazy.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I guess this was Melo's chance to really shut up everyone that said that he doesn't pass the ball or that he likes to be a ball hog. I mean, you really saw a player step up and become more of like a, you know, like a team player. You know, they're like that shot, the three-pointer at the end of that Bulls game was the talk of the city. Everyone was loving it. The Garden was on fire.
We're going to get in. I'm going to give you some teams who should win, how the bracket should be set up for the playoff scenario, and I just want you to give me the team and who will win it. It's the 7th seed, Oklahoma City and Dallas.
Ooh, OKC.
Oh, Mark Cuban was not gonna like this, but I'm gonna have to go with OKC as well. I mean, listen, Dallas. You know, they're returning champs, but this is not the same team from last year.
And then the last bracket of that will be the 4 and 5 will be the Clippers and Memphis Grizzlies.
Lob City.
Lob City all day.
Lob City.
Oh, man.
I mean, Memphis is tough now.
Yeah, like Memphis is a tough team, man. Like they're hungry, they want it. I would say like what Philly is to the East, Memphis.
Give me your take on the team, man. I just need to make, man. I don't care.
I'm explaining.
Yo, CP3, sorry about this, but I have to go with Memphis.
Oh, Chris, I don't know. All right, now let's get to the East. All right, let's get to the East. 1 through 8.
Guys, funny.
Chicago, Philadelphia. Yo. Sixers and Bulls. What do you think?
I'm going with Philly.
Really?
I'm going with Philly.
Tell me why first.
I'm going with Philly. They're a young team, explosive, and I just like the underdogs. I'm an underdog king.
So if it was against Chicago and Philly, I'd have to go with Chicago.
Okay.
They might have.
Do you have something on his take on why you think Philly should win it?
Well, you know, young team. I understand where he's coming from. You know, like they were the surprise of last season when they made it to the playoffs. So, you know, who's to say?
Hungry. That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
You know, that's what. I mean,
they gave
that
they gave the Heat a run for their money in that last year, in that first round. The first 2 games, they gave the Heat the run for their money.
Yeah.
So I can understand why y'all do say the Sixers.
Now 7 games.
Nah. Whoa, let's
Let's not go that far.
I don't see those 7 games.
Next one.
All right. Well, I mean, all right, we're going to just go ahead. The second and 7. Miami and New York, of course.
New York.
New York Knicks.
Yeah, I figured.
Everybody's saying Miami's getting knocked out the first round, and it's the truth. Miami's getting knocked out the first round.
Hear that, Heat fans?
Miami's getting knocked out
Gets knocked out the first round.
Miami's getting
Knicks
knocked
is
out
gonna
the
come
first round.
alive. I feel like the Knicks is gonna really come up on this. This is one of the rivalries back in the day that was hot, and it's gonna get back to what it was.
I feel like 99 all over again.
I think it's gonna be a fight at the end of this series. It's gonna be a big fight between
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah,
I think somebody with Melo, LeBron, Melo, somebody, Shumpert with Wade, somebody's gonna have a fight. J.R. Smith, somebody is
Sean might not be there to break it up.
Somebody is gonna go at it. I feel like it. I can feel it in the first 2 games.
Amari.
Maybe. Miami and New York. New York. I can feel New York going to 7. It has to go to 7 games for them to win it, though. It has to go to 7, and they got to win their home games.
Yeah.
And they got to steal one in Miami.
Yes. They gotta let it be known that this is Madison Square Garden. I wanted it to come back to the days where players are scared, teams are scared to go back to the Garden because they're about to face off against the
Everybody loves to play the Garden, so that's impossible.
But I'm just saying.
Everybody loves to play the
A
Garden.
lot of players have their best games when they're going against the Knicks.
They do. But you know what? There's no fear like the old Knicks with Oakley and Mason. There's no type of fear. When you go to the basket, they used to foul you hard. They make sure you don't come back in, right?
So Mason White plays today.
Mason.
Foot doctor. Leave it on that note. I gotta go to class.
Hold on a second. Before you go. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in, watching this show. I want to thank my guest, Mr. David Hill. And of course, Mr. Eddie C. I'm Kurt London. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Peace, love. You already know. See you later.
Thank you for watching a special edition from the Kurt Sports Network. It's an NBA overview of the season from the Kurt Sports Show. This is Kurt London signing off saying thank you again and tune in for more soon.